What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Talking Sports. Usually, it is with Josh and Neil. Neil decided to take a little trip, and he's going to be visiting the Spurs on their little trip in Cancun. So it's just going to be me for today for this week. We're going to be doing not. It's going to be a shorter show, only really talking about, of course, at the end, the NBA Finals. The Knicks come out on top. They went over the Spurs 4-1 in convincing fashion. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to also do, last week we did 32 6A preview. We had six teams, went 3-1 in week three the other. So this week we're going to be doing the same thing except with 31 6A. So we're going to be going over half of 31 6A, the new team in the district, Edinburgh Vela. We're also going to talk about Edinburgh North, finish at the bottom, but looking to bounce back, and also Edinburgh Economides. So we're going to be talking about those three this week. And then next week, we're going to go ahead and also talk about the other three teams, Westico, Edinburgh High, and I believe it is also La Jolla. So it's gonna be a quick show, but we're gonna get really into it. Talk a lot about high school football today. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back after a quick break.
En cuál etapa de tu vida te encuentres. Texas Almus College está aquí para ayudarte a progresar. Ya sea que estés empezando desde cero, cambiando de carrera o adquiriendo nuevas habilidades. TSC tiene programas accesibles diseñados para adaptarse a tus metas. Es hora de dar el siguiente paso. Piensa en grande, piensa claramente, piensa en TSC.
Time to take a new look, maybe your first look at Buick. If smart, hip, and affordable is for you, Buick's your brand. Fruya Buick, Brownsville, Texas.
100 years ago, in the heart of the Rio Grande Valley, a spark was born. From the first dreamers who stepped onto these grounds, Texas Southmost College has stood as a promise that determination can overcome any challenge. Join us as we honor our past, celebrate our present, and ignite the future together. Texas Southmost College, 100 years strong, and the next 100 begin with you.
I fell on a loose towel at the grocery store, and now they're saying it's my fault. Do you think you could help?
Of course I can help. You should be focused on feeling better.
Oh, thank you, Law Champ. Hey, do you think I can get a selfie?
Of course.
This is the island where even the grown-ups forget what day it is. South Padre is more than an island. It's the island.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. As said in the intro, I said we were going to talk about 31 6A now. So we talked about 32 6A last week and the week before. We talked about Harlingen. We talked about the you could say the blue bloods of the high school football programs, right? We talked about PSG North, the new addition to 32 6A. We talked about Harlingen, San Benito, Los Fresnos, Brownsville Vets, and the other new addition, PSG Bears. So talked about that for a little bit. We predicted that PSG North was going to come out on top. Now this week we got a new district. We're going to be talking about 31 6A. Now, for those of you who don't know, last year it was Westlaco. I believe it was also Edinburgh. It was PSJA, who is now in 32 6A. Then the rest of the teams were the same. La Jolla, Edinburgh North, Edinburgh Economides, and Edinburgh High. So the only thing that's changed is Edinburgh Vela took the vacant spot while PSJ went over to 32 6A. Edinburgh Vela came back to 6A, so they'll be in 31 6A now. So that's what we're going to talk about. We got three teams that we're going to talk about this week: Edinburgh Vela, Edinburgh North, and Edinburgh Economides. So Edinburgh North, the team coming in, they finished second in their division last year, and they always have a strong program. They never really tend to veer off into the have a down year or two. Since I've known about Edinburgh North, which is going on 10 years ago, 2017, They have been the program, the dominant program in the Valley, and they've never really stepped off from that. Third round appearances, maybe a fourth round appearance in there. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say for sure a good amount of third round appearances. They make it to the playoffs almost every year, and they're really a dominant program when it comes to football. Now they're going to be entering a new district. I wouldn't say one of the most prominent, the powerhouse districts in 6A 30 in the Valley, and within 31 6A. I mean, not a whole lot of household names in this district where you got Edinburgh North struggling a little bit. Edinburgh Highs always find themselves in the middle of the pack within the whole Valley. Economides, who's always been at the bottom, but now they're starting to trend upwards. They finished second in 31 6A last year. We'll talk about that. Westlake is always a top 5, top 7 team in the Valley. And La Jolla. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, where Edinburgh Vela finds himself coming into this new district, and I think it's going to work out for them. I mean, they're coming in to, like I said, not that hard of a district, but you got Westaco, the district champ from last year. Economides is going to put up a fight. They finished second in district. So I'm excited to see what happens. We're going to talk about Edinburgh North for a little bit. So, little theme for Edinburgh Vela here. They have a new quarterback, but they got the same core coming back. So, same core, I mean, same. They got 3 receivers coming back and their starting running back coming back. Now, none of that matters unless you have an O-line. If you don't have an O-line, none of that matters. Quarterback doesn't matter. The running back doesn't matter. And Edinburgh Vela always tends to have a strong O-line. I feel like last year was kind of a down year when it came to their O-line. But I mean, I'm not buying that down stock with Edinburgh Vela. I'm gonna believe that they're still gonna have a great O-line next year, and that last year was just a down year. They got a new quarterback coming back, but they have at least 3 receivers and a running back that is returning next year that ultimately can make the quarterback's life a lot easier. Now, they have their star receiver, George Falls. He's coming in as a senior. Last year, he racked in 45 receptions, 838 yards, and 16 touchdowns. Now, as a quarterback coming in, as somebody that has played quarterback myself, it's very I don't know what the opposite of nerve-wracking is, but it calms your nerves. It's very soothing to know you have a solidified wide receiver bona fide one to help you out. That's played before, that's been there before, especially a new quarterback coming in. So for Falls, I feel like maybe his numbers might go down a little bit because new quarterback, maybe you knew a little bit of the O-line, right? Maybe you have a new quarterback, you want to run the ball a little bit more because you're not 100% confident with your quarterback. If anything is about Edinburgh Vela, though, they're going to be 100% confident in their quarterback. I mean, Falls was able to rack in 138 yards last year. So I'm excited to see what the quarterback situation is. I can't say I know fully, but Falls, 838 yards, 16 touchdowns, and like I said, right, when the new quarterback's coming in, it's easy to just calm your nerves and be like, okay, I have a guy I can throw to. If anything gets in trouble, if a pocket collapses, if the coaches know also, the offensive coordinator knows to build that offense around him. Your young quarterback or your new quarterback, you got to put it in his mind, okay, this is your best receiver. This is your safety valve if anything goes wrong. And that's what it is with Falls. Luckily, it's not just Falls. They have 2 more receivers that had at least 150 yards or more. And I know that's not a lot to say, right? But they were kind of senior heavy last year. But they have guys coming back. And it's not always about the statistics. They have guys coming back 150 yards from Ryan Rodriguez. He's going to be a senior now too. It's about the games played. You play in these games. Most of the time, if you're a junior to a senior, you're going to take that big leap. You're going to take a big jump from junior to senior. I'm not worried about the statistics. I'm not worried about the 150 yards receiving this year for Ryan Rodriguez. And I'm not worried that it's not going to translate into next year. I know it'll translate into next year. You're going to develop. You have the off season right now. You got everything going for you for senior year. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about games played. Ryan Rodriguez played a good amount of games on varsity last year. It is hard to translate. It is hard to mimic the varsity and JV games, like just to see how the speed is a whole lot different. So it's good to see that Rodriguez played a lot of varsity games last year. He knows the speed, he knows the pace, and naturally his stats will get better. Didn't get a lot of touches last year, but he's going to be maybe that number 2, number 3 receiver next year for Edinburgh Vela. Another player, Antonio Villalobos, 426 all-purpose yards, some rushing, some receiving, more on the receiving end, though, and that's another good thing for Vela. You have a receiving threat, you have a running threat. He can do both. Again, didn't play, not a whole lot, 426 all-purpose yards, right? But he played the games on varsity last year. He has the experience. He didn't get those 426 yards all because of luck. He earned it. He earned his spot, and last year he was able to play a lot on varsity, so he's used to it. And Christopher Caballero, he's a senior, he's a running back, 112 carries for 563 yards and 5 touchdowns. This surrounding cast will be helpful for the new quarterback coming in for Edinburgh Vela. Will be helpful for them, as in, if anything goes not to plan, you have a running back that's been there before. You have 3 receivers that have been there before. One of them who's elite status, A1 in the Valley, probably one of the best receivers in the Valley. So for you to have that as a surrounding cast, as the new quarterback coming in, again, I don't know who that is, right? For Edinburgh Vela, it's very comforting. It's very helpful for you, and especially for the coaches, because everybody around the quarterback has been there before. So for your quarterback, it's very soothing, and I think Edinburgh Vela is going to get a lot done, especially they're on the offensive side. They always tend to do so, and I don't see a drop off at all on the offensive side. Now on the defensive side, their D line, they lost 9 D linemen. They lost 9 of them to, like, again, right? You only have 4 starters, but during the season, wear and tear, people get hurt, people fail. Who knows? You get a lot of people come in, you get a lot of people get playing time. 9 of those D linemen gone. They have a young D line, right? But we're gonna talk about one of their stars on defense. He was one of their perennial. One of the interception leaders in Texas, in the country. He had 10 interceptions last year, played DB, played a little bit of offense, special teams. He can really do it all. So I'm going to start talking about Caden Hoover. Caden Hoover, he is a senior. He's going to be a senior defensive back. He had 50 total tackles. He had 10 interceptions as a DB, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Now, as a defensive back, it is hard. One person does not make the whole team, right? We've seen it time and time again. I think they're going to be fine. I think him leading that DB front, that DB front will be very helpful, because you're going to have 1 or 2 guys that are coming back next year, and you'll be totally fine in that front. You're going to lose the D line. But that being said, that's why I brought it up. You're not going to generate a whole lot of pressure on the quarterback, especially in a 4-man front. You're not going to do so a lot, or maybe a 3-man front. I'm not sure what Edinburgh Vela runs. So to have a DB like that, and a DB like that pushes other DBs in the offseason, and he's going to push them to get better. When the season comes, you're going to generate a whole lot of coverage sacks, and coverage sacks, I mean, when you are covering. You're covering your man. You were playing great coverage on defense, DBs, corners, safeties, to where the D linemen get the sacks, and because the quarterbacks can't make a decision. Now that's gonna be very helpful for Edinburgh Vela for their defense. Still not returning a whole lot on the defensive end. They're returning Caden Hoover, who is one of their best players on the team. In my opinion, the best player on the team, because he had 10 interceptions on defense, a forced fumble recovery. On offense, he played offense. He had 9 carries for 40 yards, 15 receptions, 222 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then he had 315 punt return yards and 90 kick return yards. So a total of 697, almost 700 all-purpose yards. Almost 700 all-purpose yards accounted for, with also 10 interceptions on the defensive side. This kid's a stud, and I know he's going to get a whole lot more playing time on the offense, only 9 carries. So you can assume it's a lot of jet sweeps, right? Maybe he came in at quarterback one play, got a run in, and a lot of catches. He had about 15 receptions. And so that's another receiver you're adding to the core. 4 receivers and a running back you're adding to help that new quarterback come in. So for Edinburgh Vela, I'm not worried about them. I feel like on the defensive side, it's going to take time adjusting. And this is no shade to 31-6A, but I feel like Edinburgh Vela is in the district where you can have a decent to bottom of the barrel defense and get away with it. You don't have necessarily the powerhouse offenses, the running gun offenses, the teams that'll just wear you down physically on the run, like Brownsville Vets, like PSG North, Air Raid, like PSJ, right? Like Los Fresnos. You don't have a whole lot of teams like that in your district. You have more of the traditional teams, a little balanced, but they're not fully overloaded on one end. Now you have Westago. Westago can do both really well, but that's one team. I don't see Edinburgh doing that. I don't see Edinburgh North doing that. I don't see Edinburgh Economides, La Jolla doing that, right? But that's what we're gonna do it here on the Edinburgh Vela segment. Coming into 31-6A, they're very familiar with Westago, very familiar with some of these teams. Play them in non-district a lot. I'm excited to see what happens when it gets to that. So we just finished talking about Edinburgh Vela. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking also about Edinburgh North. We got two more teams to talk about: Edinburgh North, Edinburgh Economies. Edinburgh North finished at the bottom of the barrel last year, 0-5 in district play, 1-9 total. So we're gonna talk about that too. Talk about Edinburgh North, and I think they can make a decent jump in this 31-6A. So we'll be back. We'll be back after a quick break. Stay tuned.
At Tortilleria Ibañez, flavor starts fresh every day. Crispy flautas, homemade tamales, and our signature chicken salad, all made for you. Tortilleria Ibañez, tradition on every plate.
It means a lot to me. TFC has changed me to make me realize that I can accomplish things. Just don't give up. A long way from where I was to what I am now, and there's no limit to where I'm going.
Give your little one the best start at Brownsville ISD's Pre-K3 and Pre-K4 programs. At BISD, 3 and 4-year-olds develop fundamental skills that pave the way to lifelong success. With quality educators, access to the latest technology, and free nutritious meals to fuel the day, our young minds explore and learn in exciting new ways. Enroll your 3 and 4-year-old today at Brownsville ISD, the best choice.
Kenny Perez came from a small town in Texas. At Kenny Perez Law, we won't stop fighting until our clients get what's rightfully theirs. We're right by your side, no matter what. Call Kenny Perez Injury Lawyers today, 956-999-1111.
Standard of excellence has always been Cadillac, so be iconic and drive one. Free your Cadillac, Brownsville, Texas.
Welcome back to the show. Just finished talking about Edinburgh Vela. So talking about Edinburgh Vela, a little recap, right? They're going to be exciting to watch in 31-6A. I think they're going to finish in top 3 in the district. I feel like they'll be second or first, however, flip-flopping back and forth with Westlaco, right? They got a lot of returning key players in the skill positions. In the trenches, a little bit of a different question, right? So that's Edinburgh Vela. Now we're going to be talking about a team that finished last in district last year, Edinburgh North, 31-6A returners. Finished last in the district, 0-5, 1-9 total. Now, they're a little bit of a more balanced team. They have their quarterback who is coming back, Jorge Trevino. He's going to be a senior. He had 2,000 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Not a whole lot of stats on this team. Not a lot of things I could grab off of when I was researching. Max Preps didn't really have a whole lot. So Ryan Perez, a returning defensive back to anchor that team. For Trevino, for Edinburgh North, 18 touchdowns in 10 games played is not bad. It's about 1.5 to 1.8 touchdowns a game. It's not really, it's a little under 2 touchdowns a game, right? But for a team that really doesn't throw the ball a whole lot, but doesn't pass, runs the ball quite a lot as well, it's pretty good. And I think that is not what we need to be worrying about right now. The 13 interceptions is, you're averaging at least one interception a game, and for that, I think he had 6 interceptions last year total in his career. I know he has 23 touchdowns and 19 interceptions. So that means that, 20, I apologize, 23 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. So for that, it means that last year he played as well. He had 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So I feel like the interception numbers need to go down. If you're a team that doesn't pass the ball a whole lot, you cannot have 13 interceptions. You cannot have a whole lot of interceptions as a quarterback, because you are telling your coaches, you're telling your team that the very few times that you do pass the ball, you're gonna throw an interception, right? 18 touchdowns is cool, it's great to look at, but the 13 interceptions worries me for a very balanced team. You can't be a really balanced team if you are throwing 13 interceptions, and I feel like that's gonna, if it happens again this year, it's gonna be Trevino's third year playing for Edinburgh North. I feel like it's going to raise some questions, and it's going to may cause a team to do what nobody likes to do in the middle of the season and just change your whole plan. Everybody has a plan coming into the beginning of the year. We're going to rally behind Trevino. We're going to run the ball. We're going to pass the ball efficiently. It's until you get punched in the mouth in non-district play, maybe the first game of district play, right, where you're like, wow, this isn't working for us. We might need to change some things around. And I'm saying that because I've been there. I've done that. And it's not a great feeling, and it feels like you lose a sense of identity because you're coming into the season. Everybody knows Edinburgh North is the balanced team. Maybe they don't win a whole lot of games, right? But they run the ball well. They pass the ball not bad, pretty well. But the 13 interceptions is what worries me. And to get better at that, I feel like he just needs to limit it. You're not gonna pass the ball a whole lot, so you don't want to throw interceptions. It sounds really dumb. It sounds like what I'm saying is it sounds like no duh, right? But that's what it is. I guarantee you, if you lower down those interception numbers, that the team will be a whole lot better. And I don't mean to nitpick one person, right? But as a quarterback, the whole, for somebody that has played quarterback before, if you're having a great season, the success is going to fall on you first. If you're having a horrible season, all the blame is going to fall on you first. That's how it is. It's what comes with the job. I'm sure it's not what you asked for, right? But 13 interceptions, you want to put it down just a little bit. And I'm not saying anything to where, like, you're playing against hard competition, right? Non-district is tough. The district is tough. So if you limit those interception numbers, the team really does benefit from it. You probably coaches might trust you to pass the ball a lot more, because you just need to make do with what you got. You don't got a whole lot of passing opportunities. Be smart with it, right? And I feel like Trevino, I've seen him play a lot. He can make plays with his legs as well. So it's going to be tough. Again, I don't know a whole lot about this Edinburgh North squad. There's not a whole lot of stats for me. I did grab something from their schedule, though. So they went 1-9, right? 0-5 in district. That is nothing good to look at. Never. But there is some good things to come from it, right? So every district game that they played in was 14 points or less. They besides the Wesco game, they got absolutely shellacked by Wesco. I believe it was like 56-2 or something like that. But other than that, they played Edinburgh, the Bobcats, Edinburgh High. They lost 42-34, one score game. They played PSJ Bears, who is now in 32-6A. They lost in double overtime, 33-27. That's a one score game. they play La Jolla, who had a great season last year. They lost 48-34. It's a 2-touchdown game. And then they finished off their season. They lost to Edinburgh Economides. They lost 21-14. Another one-score game. So if you're Trevino, and I haven't watched these games, right? I don't know fully what the issue is. I don't know what is causing y'all to lose these games. You want to do better at your end on finishing the game. You want to, that's like, I'm just saying how to help yourself as a quarterback to help the team out, right? You want to finish the games. You want to be more of a game manager. You need to be more of a game manager. And being a game manager isn't so much of a bad thing. You can be an all-star and still be a game manager. It's just you need to help manage the team, especially if you have a younger team, not a whole lot returning. You need to be the guy that they turn to and they're like, okay, we can calm it down here. He's not going to make the wrong play. He's not going to just chuck the ball out of bounds on a 4th down. He's not going to chuck the ball 30 yards deep to a guy that's double covered on 3rd and 20, right? So I feel like if Trevino can cut down these interception numbers, I feel like it's going to be a whole lot better. I feel like as you cut them down, the passing yards will accumulate, the success will accumulate. And like I said with Edinburgh North, right? Not a whole lot of success, but every game. So besides La Jolla, which was a two touchdown game, and Westago, which was a blowout, it's a 1-score game with Edinburgh High, it's a 1-score game with PSJA, it's a 1-score game with Economides. It's a total of 21 points or 22 points in 3 games. That's about 7 points a game. So it's really like that. If they had turned it around and they had maybe some things that different, maybe the ball didn't bounce their way, right? They see themselves 3-3 in district play or 3-2 in district play rather than 0-5. 3-2 gets you into the playoffs. So I feel like the schedule says, the win-loss record shows a lot more than what happened last year. I feel like Edinburgh North, I know Edinburgh North's not that bad. I know, like, the schedule here, they lost by a touchdown to Econ, by a touchdown to Edinburgh, and by a touchdown to PSJ. That's 3 games. Everybody looked at Econ and was like, oh, wow, they finished 2nd in the district. They had this great season. They finished the season, they beat Edinburgh North by a touchdown. It's a very close game. And that's what football is crazy. It's a game of inches. It's if you are just stat watching and just looking at the box score, you're not really going to know a difference. And if you're not watching these games, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between, they went 0-5, but 3 of those games were 1-score games. So I'm not worried about Edinburgh North. I don't see them finishing bottom of the district again. I see them maybe sneaking their way into the playoffs. It's going to be 2 teams that find themselves the odd men out. And I feel like Edinburgh North has a chance if they can prove it, if they can have great quarterback play, all-around team play. I feel like they see themselves sneaking into the playoffs. So that's going to do it here for Edinburgh North. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Edinburgh Economides, right? Now, Economides finished 2nd in the district last year, made probably a jump nobody really expected them to make, right? They have a little bit different style of play than Edinburgh North, than Edinburgh Vela. So we're going to come back next after the quick break and talk about that. And then we'll wrap up the show after that with the NBA Finals. And that'll be it for us. So we're going to go do a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Rev up your future with Texas Southmost College's Auto Body Repair Program. In just 2 semesters, you'll gain the skills to become an auto body repair specialist. Learn using industry-standard iCar Academy to get you job-ready fast. If you're ready to drive your career forward, TSC's Auto Body Repair Program is the place to start. Classes are filling fast, so visit tsc.edu and apply today. Turn your passion into a powerful career at Texas Southmost College. Our automotive technology program will train you in everything from maintenance to full vehicle systems repair. Earn a certificate or associate degree and get certified to work as a C maintenance or B-level technician. You'll be guided by seasoned instructors who have decades of real-world automotive experience, helping you get ready to roll into the industry. So take the wheel and apply today at tsc.edu.
If you've been in a car crash, call Kenny. We're available to take your call 24/7, and we don't charge a fee unless we win your case. When you're in a car crash, call Kenny. Call 999-1111 now for a free consultation.
Permatemp Personnel Services has been servicing local businesses for the past 29 years.
Leave the hiring to us. Let us become your personal hiring guru.
We have a network of skilled employees to fit your needs.
Your success is our strategy.
Don't hesitate, call us now.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Just finished talking about Edinburgh Vela. We also talked about Edinburgh North in this 31-6A district preview. Now we're going to move on to the third team that I'm going to talk about. Final one for this week. And it's going to be the Edinburgh Economides. Edinburgh Economides, they came in with a vengeance this season. 9-2 overall, 4-1 in district play. After last year, the year before that, going 5-6 and 2-3 in district play, just sneaking into the playoffs. And so for Economides, and then the year before that, in 2024, they went 1-9. So Economides has been on the up and up, and they have been improving every year since 2024. A little bit of a different style of play for Economides, right? They like to run the ball a whole lot. They only throw 8 times a game, and it's crazy to see where, we talked about it in the 32-6A preview. PSG North does that a lot. Brownsville Vets does that a lot. So it's nothing that we're not used to seeing, right? But Economides does it, and they do it well. And to be able to do that in this district where it's not a whole lot of powerhouse defenses, they've shown, maybe it's a change that they've made, right? But now they're playing a whole lot better. They went 5-6 the year prior, 9-1 last year, or 8-2. I apologize. Let me double check on that. Yeah, they went 9-2 last year. Lost in the first round of the playoffs to Los Fresnos. Now, before we go talk about the players and their stats, right? First thing I want to talk about is the schedule here that I'm seeing from last year. Respectfully to Edinburgh North, it doesn't look like they played a whole lot of competition, right? Other than their district, they played Donna North, Porter, Juarez Lincoln, Pace, St. Joe. Then they got to district and they played Edinburgh North, PSJ, right? All the same teams that they played. But I feel like once they played the heavy hitters, the Westago, they lost 37-13. They played Los Fresnos in the first round of the playoffs. They lost 35-10. I feel like Economides does have a talented squad. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're all what they make out to be. I talked about this before. I in the 31-6A preview a couple minutes ago, right? We were talking about Edinburgh North. It's not. Edinburgh Vela. It's not that hard of a division. It's really not. And I'm sorry, when your best team's Westago, it's a star-studded Group 5, top 5 team in the Valley. Edinburgh Vela, top 10 team in the Valley. But other than that, I don't see anybody else in this district that is top 15 in the Valley. I don't see Economides being there. I don't see Edinburgh North being there. I don't see anybody else being there. My personal opinion, I think the third best team in the district would be PSJA if they had stayed. But Economides, you play with the cards that you're dealt, right? And kudos to the coaches for Economides. They went in, they scheduled Juarez Lincoln, PSJ, Pace. St. Joe's a good squad. They made the playoffs, but you went ahead and scheduled Donna North, Porter, right? Me personally, I would like to schedule 1 or 2 teams in there that in that non-district play that are a top team. Maybe like a Harlingen, maybe like a San Benito, a team like that. Like Edinburgh Vela wasn't in your district last year. You could have scheduled them, right? Brownsville Vets. I think you need to schedule a couple teams, maybe a Corpus team, right? I think you need to schedule a couple teams that you're not familiar with that are better than you, because it's not going to be that way in district where you got to play some teams that get you ready for district, because after district it's all playoffs from there. It's the hardest teams. You went You went on, you got second in your district, and you went on to play LF. I mean, LF's one of the better teams in the Valley. You're not going to know the types of talent that you play unless you play them in non-district. It's you can't prepare for it. We talked about it for baseball. It's a little bit different, right? But in football, you got 10 games in the regular season, 5 district, depending on how many teams you have in your district, right? Maybe 8 district, maybe 7 district. But you need to schedule a team or two that you might see if you make the playoffs, especially if you're a playoff favorite. It's cool to look at the record and go 9-2. Yeah, that's great. But you gotta, I would rather go 6-4 or 7-3 and beat everybody in district, because I had the experience in non-district play. Because I said, hey, we got our butts kicked by PSG North in non-district play, by Harlingen in district play, by any of the other top teams in the Valley in district play. But we held our own. And it got us better for district for the playoffs, because I feel like I see this a lot of times with teams where they can schedule a rinky-dink schedule like Economy's schedule in non-district. No offense to any of these teams, right? But Economy's didn't schedule any hard opponents. They didn't, and I'm not the highest on them going into next year. I think that the schedule, like I said about Edinburgh North, the schedule can deceive you. The win-loss record can deceive you. Edinburgh North finished 0-5. 3 of those losses were 6-point games. I mean, you're going to tell me that they got blown out? Because they didn't. Economides, they went 9-2, but they played in their first 4 games. They played Donna North, Porter, Juarez, Lincoln, and Pace. I mean, I don't see the benefit in that. Again, congrats to Economies, because they did take care of business when district play came around. They only lost to Westago, finished second. But then you kind of saw that Westago was their last district game, fell off. Only 13 points scored. They allowed Westago to score 37. First round of the playoffs, only scored 10 points. You allowed LF to score 35. And you saw the huge talent drop off. That's what it is. And it's factual. It's a huge talent drop off. You can't ask for your district opponents. It's what it is. It's what's given to you. But you can ask for your non-district opponents. You can ask to play harder teams in non-district. So, La Jolla, 59-56, it was a district game, right? PSJ, 52-3, that was a district game. Played St. Joe, non-district. Every game in non-district, they scored 49 points or more. And then you get to the 2 teams at the end of the season that are known programs. Westago, known program. LF, known program. And then you scored 13 points against Westago and 10 points against LF. And it's not like it was games that didn't matter. It was your district championship game and your by-district championship game in the playoffs. I'm not high on Economines at all. I don't think the schedule does them justice. I think 9-2, everybody's like, 9-2 and 9. No, I don't see it. I talked a lot of crap about Westago, right? 2-9. I think they're a better team than Economines. They played harder teams. They played Carthage. They played who else? They played PSG North. They played Westlaco. They played all these teams. Economides, you played against Donna North, who went 2-8. You played against Porter, who went 3-8. You played against Juarez Lincoln, 0-10. You played against Pace, 4-7. I'm not a mathematician, but I believe that is maybe 7 total wins combined from those 4 teams. It's you're not playing hard teams, and I don't know. I can see what their non-district is for next year. I think it's going to be a little bit harder. And then you took out. They beat PSG last year in district 52-3. Take out PSG, now you got Edinburgh Vela, another known program. So I don't think they're going to finish second. I don't even think they're going to finish third. But now they got in their non-district, they scheduled a couple of harder teams. McAllen, Mac High, Palmview. They got Mission, PSG North, Edcouch, Chelsea. Okay, they listen to me a little bit. They got Mac High first game, known program. Palmview and Mission, they're not the best football programs, but they're not horrible. They're good competition. And then obviously PSG North, everybody knows about PSG North, right? So I feel like this year we're going to see the real Economides. No disrespect to Economides. 9-2 is 9-2, no matter what you say, no matter what it is. But once you got to those last 2 games in the playoffs last year, in district play and the playoffs, you scored a total of 23 points. You didn't score less than 49 points in non-district play. And then once you got to district championship when it mattered the most, and then to the by-district round, you scored a total of 23 points. That's all I'm gonna leave. That's how I'm gonna leave it off on there for them. I'm not the highest on them. I'm excited to see what happens. This is gonna bring me to their players, right? A run-heavy team. They like to control the clock. They don't pass the ball a whole lot. You can say, "Oh, Josh," but that's the reason they scored 13 points and 10 points in the last 2 games. No, because they didn't score less than 49 points in their non-district games. They played PSJ, who's a air raid team. They beat them 52-3. So I feel like they have had success, and they just didn't have success against Westaco and LF. John Carreon, quarterback. He's going to be a senior. 672 passing yards with 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Doesn't pass the ball a whole lot. 2 interceptions. Takes care of it well. 2 interceptions in 10 games. Then again, they don't pass the ball a whole lot, right? 600 yards in 10 games. That's about 60 yards a game for a team that only passes the ball 8 times. That's not too bad. He runs the ball really well. 72 carries with 910 yards. He had 15 touchdowns. So 20 total touchdowns for Carreon, passing and rushing. Obviously, Economy shows their card to you. They love to run the ball, and it suits them well. They won 9 games last year, right? So, including Carreon, Economides had 4 players with 600 or more rushing yards. So that means they had 4 players that ran the ball, and was able to do it successfully, 600 more or more yards. 2 of them will be coming back, including Carreon. Another running back will be coming back next year. Two of them are leaving. So it's good to have that experience coming back, right? Carreon, I think to be successful, he's doing a great job running the ball. Maybe they trust him to throw the ball a little bit more. I know he plays baseball. He can throw the ball. And I feel like maybe you trust him to throw the ball a bit more. And I feel like everybody says you pass the ball. You pass the ball, there's 3 things that can happen. Or there's a lot of things that can happen. You can fumble the ball before even throwing it. You throw an interception, incomplete. There's a lot more bad things that can happen, right? As to we're just running the ball. But I feel like you have a seasoned quarterback, a returning letterman that he likes to throw the ball. He throws the ball well, 670 yards in 10 games, and where he throws the ball maybe 8 times a game. 5 touchdowns in half of those games, right? I feel like you should trust him to throw the ball more. Again, I'm not the coach. I don't know what's going on. I feel like you're going to be playing a lot of teams that Edinburgh loves to throw the ball. Westaco, and I talked about their receivers coming back next year. Westaco loves to throw the ball. They always have a great quarterback. They like to run the ball too, but these teams are going to be huge on giving the ball back to you fast. They're going to score fast, give the ball back to you fast. And if you're down 14 points quickly, you're playing a Westaco, you find yourself down 14-0, but only like, and we're already find ourselves in the second quarter because Westaco's got 2 times they got the ball, touchdown. And the 2 times that you got the ball, 3 and out, 3 and out, right? You're not going to win games like that, especially against air raid teams. I feel like they need to pass the ball a little bit more. I think they will pass the ball a little bit more. But who am I? I mean, Economides has only gone up since 2024. 1-9, 5-6, 9-2. I think they'll still be okay. I think they'll make the playoffs. But I'm actually not 100% sure they'll make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be playing harder competition. And I can tell you this, though, if they do succeed in non-district play and win 3 of those 2 games, I think they'll be okay. I think they will make the playoffs. But my prediction off the bat, I don't think they are. So talked about Carreon, returning letterman quarterback coming back for Economides, right? That's very helpful. Again, game manager, you need that, especially with a team that doesn't have a lot coming back. You need a player like that to fill that void. And especially a lot of teams that have returning players, the big reason they don't do well is because they don't have a returning quarterback. Most teams, if they have a returning quarterback, everything kind of goes along smoothly and goes along well because you have a player that has seen everything, has to manage everything. You're the quarterback. You got to manage everything. He sees how the receivers play. He sees how the running backs play, the linemen. He knows the protection, the pass schemes, right? So he knows everything, and he can put those linemen in the positions to help make plays, call out the pass protection, the coverages, right? Help the receivers on their routes. He's the only player on the field that can really do that for everybody. So I'm sure he can. I saw him play last year. He did an amazing job. So I think they'll be okay going into next year because of him. And I feel like again, I think they're going to be limping into the playoffs, if not in the playoffs at all. But I see them maybe going fourth in the playoff in district and barely making it into the playoffs. But I don't predict the 9-2 record as they had last year. No way. Going on to the defensive side of the ball now. So they're returning a lot of players, which is great. Their defense was phenomenal last year. They're returning a lot of players. They only lost 5 seniors total. One of the players they are returning, their middle linebacker, Jaime. Excuse me if I say your name wrong, Jaime. Eguia. I'm gonna say Jaime Eguia. Middle linebacker, 39 solo tackles. He had 108 total tackles, 4 sacks, and 2 interceptions. Now we talked about Economides returning their leader on the offensive side of the ball. Now they're returning their leader on the defensive side of the ball. Eguia, he is going to be very helpful. Like I said, 4 sacks, so he knows how to get to the quarterback. 2 interceptions. He plays great in pass coverage, and he plays the run really well with 108 total tackles, almost 40 solo, right? So a team, that's what you need, is like the quarterback of the defense to just kind of call everything out, help your D lineman out, especially the D lineman. But I feel like he won't need to do that a whole lot this year because they are returning a lot. I saw 5 or 6 sophomores that are coming back. And we talked about this with Edinburgh Vela, right? It's not more your stats. It's more the games that you've played. His stats are there, but he's also a returning letterman. Economides has a lot of returning players coming back next year, and they have the experience, which is the most important thing that you need when it comes to success. You need experience. It's hard for a freshman to come up to a sophomore that's never played, that played on freshman or JV to come play on varsity next year. It's hard, sophomore to junior, they've never played on varsity. But you got a lot of players that maybe they didn't play a whole lot, but they did play, or they did play a whole lot, but didn't have a huge impact. They've seen success. They've seen second place in district. They've seen 9-2 season. So they're used to success. They know the method. They know like, I guess it's the Economides way to get to the playoffs. They've seen it. They had it last year. And now they might not have the whole stats players individually wise, but they're going to do their job, each part, all 11 players defensively on the ball, to where I feel like they can play winning football on that defensive side of the ball, to where, like, again, the stats aren't there for them because they didn't play a whole lot, or they played a lot, just didn't have a lot of impact, but they know the speed. They know the varsity pace of play, right? So I feel like that's going to help them a whole lot going into next year, to where the experience will be there. And offensively, I'm not sold, but defensive side of the ball, I feel like they'll be very solid. And I see Economides coming in maybe 4th, maybe 3rd, but I say 4th in district. That's gonna do it here for the Talkin Sports 31-6A preview. Again, we don't have Neil here to back Economides or back any bad stuff I was saying up, right? He's more of the play the devil's advocate. He's gonna say the good things. He doesn't want to get in trouble. That's fine. But we'll have him back next week. He'll be here on that seat next week. That's gonna do it for here on this 31-6A. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break. We talked about Edinburgh Vela, Edinburgh North, Edinburgh Economides. When we come back next week, we're gonna be talking about Westlaco, Edinburgh High, and we'll also be talking about La Jolla. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that next week. Maybe focus on that a whole lot next week. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna be wrapping the show up with the NBA Finals recap and congratulating the Knicks on winning the title. So we're gonna go to a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Kenny Perez came from a small town in Texas. At Kenny Perez Law, we won't stop fighting until our clients get what's rightfully theirs. We're right by your side, no matter what. Call Kenny Perez Injury Lawyers today, 956-999-1111.
This is the island where adulting takes its own vacation. South Padre is more than an island. It's the island.
Give your little one the best start at Brownsville ISD's Pre-K 3 and Pre-K 4 programs. At BISD, 3 and 4-year-olds develop fundamental skills that pave the way to lifelong success. With quality educators, access to the latest technology, and free nutritious meals to fuel the day, our young minds explore and learn in exciting new ways. Enroll your 3 and 4-year-old today at Brownsville ISD, the best choice.
Rev up your future with Texas Southmost College's Auto Body Repair Program. In just 2 semesters, you'll gain the skills to become an auto body repair specialist. Learn using industry standard iCar Academy to get you job ready fast. If you're ready to drive your career forward, TSC's Auto Body Repair Program is the place to start. Classes are filling fast, so visit tsc.edu and apply today.
I'll do anything for my clients.
Would you pick up our kids from school?
Yeah, I could do that.
Hurt in a car crash? Call the Law Channel.
Elevation, AT4, AT4X, Denali. Case closed. For your GMC, we're professional grade.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
At Brownsville ISD, every journey starts with a strong foundation.
Our academic programs inspire curiosity and critical thinking.
In athletics, students unleash their potential while diving into school spirit.
Creativity shines throughout our various fine arts programs.
Our career and technical education provides students with essential skills for the workforce.
With dual enrollment courses, students can earn college credits while still in high school.
Brownsville ISD.
One team.
One dream.
Permatemp Personnel Services has been servicing local businesses for the past 29 years.
Leave the hiring to us. Let us become your personal hiring guru.
We have a network of skilled employees to fit your needs.
Your success is our strategy.
Don't hesitate, call us now.
If you've been in a car crash, call Kenny. We're available to take your call 24/7, and we don't charge a fee unless we win your case. When you're in a car crash, call Kenny. Call 999-1111 now for a free consultation.
This is the island where adulting takes its own vacation. South Padre is more than an island. It's the island.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to be wrapping it up here with the Spurs and Knicks recap. So we talked about 31-6A preview. We did Edinburgh North, Edinburgh Economies, and Edinburgh Vela. So that's what we talked about. Next week, it'll be Westaco, La Jolla, and Edinburgh High. So we're going to be doing that. But right now, in this very moment, we will be talking about the Spurs and Knicks. Unfortunately for me, I'm a huge Spurs fan. Knicks win in Knicks in 5. Knicks won in 5. It was very hard to see. I mean, congrats to the Knicks, right? Jalen Brunson, OG, Mikal Bridges, Cat. It honestly, like, I'm a huge Spurs fan, right? But if I wanted to see anybody else get their first ring, it would be the Knicks. I mean, that Jalen Brunson deserved it. Captain clutch. I mean, he came in clutch all series. Cat he started off amazing in the series. As the end of the series, he kind of dwindled down and got into foul trouble a whole lot. OG Anunoby, the hero in game 4, to help the Knicks go up 3-1 with the block, with the foul. I mean, with the block, I think it was a foul. The block and the tip in to win, right? So I think if it all went the Spurs' way, they could have swept the Knicks, right? And I'm not saying that in a biased way. I'm saying that because they were up 15 points in every game, and like that was the problem with the Spurs, right? They didn't have the experience. They didn't have the experience to close it out. Wemby, Dylan Harper, Steph Castle, Devin Vassell. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I believe all them: Wemby, Steph Castle, Dylan Harper, Devin Vassell. First playoff series ever. Second playoff series ever for Keldon Johnson. Second playoff series ever for De'Aaron Fox. I mean, it's Julian Champagny, first ever playoffs, right? So 5 players, 4 of the starters for their first ever playoff series. It's tough. I mean, it's you see it. You see the non playoff experience, right? Luckily, everybody on this team's 24 or younger besides Fox and KJ. But I think that next year they're the favorites to win it, and I think they will win it. A lot of people like to say that it's like the Thunder with KD, Russ, and Harden. I don't think so. I think Wemby is nothing like KD. All respect to KD. He stayed there for a couple more years and then decided to leave. I don't think Wemby is ever going to leave San Antonio. I feel like he'd rather just take a pay cut. His ego is not like that. He doesn't have that mentality. Harper and Castle love Wemby. I feel like they're going to stay as well for a long period to come. So yeah, I mean, so going on to the Knicks now, I feel like congrats to the Knicks, right? Jalen Brunson took a huge pay cut to get OG, to get Mikal Bridges, and it paid off in the long run. I mean, they were down every game by at least 15 points or more, and that's when the experience came into play. Jalen Brunson's been to the conference finals. Mikal Bridges has been to the finals. OG's won the finals with the Raptors. Cat has been to the conference finals. So they've been there. They've done that. They've experienced it. They know what it's like. And I mean, the fuel, they all lost. The loss motivates you as fuel, right? And I mean, they came in with numbers. Their shooters off the bench were great. Mitchell Robinson was a huge factor off the bench. I just feel like the experience is what it was, and that's why the Knicks came out on top. I mean, you can't really say much else about it. The Knicks, they did what they needed to do, and I mean, they were down by 30 points in Game 4, 29 points, whatever it was, right? And you could just see them settle in to the game. That is where the experience came into play. Everybody wants to blame Mitch Johnson, the coach for the Spurs, and I feel like he is to blame a little bit, but you also need to remember that it is his first full year as a head coach. He got them this far, so I don't think it's so quick to say what you want, right? They did blow those leads. He got them to get those leads. It is his first year as a full coach in the NBA, and I feel like it's only up from here on out. I don't think you want to fire a coach like that, especially with so much years. And I feel like he could do better with another team if they were to fire him, and I don't think they should at all. I think they should keep him. It's his first NBA season, and he went to the finals. And I feel like there's more to come from that. For the Spurs, right? I mean, I think you need to trade De'Aaron Fox. I don't believe in keeping him. The only way I believe in keeping him is moving him to backup off the bench, and Dylan Harper's a starter. And I mean, Dylan Harper was our best player in that series, and he's a 20-year-old rook. Fox, we brought him in for veteran presence. He quite literally did the opposite. He did not win us Game 4 when he could have just held the ball out. He played horrible in all the rest of the games. And I mean, I feel like we need to trade him. We're gonna pay him $230 million for the next 4 years. You need to eat some of that contract, and you need to go talk to the Bucks, and you need to say, "Hey, I'll give you Fox and 3 first-rounders for Giannis," or trade him for something, right? Like, get something out of it, get a big out of it. We need depth at the forward position, at the power forward position. And I think we can get some. I think we're going to sign some good players in free agency. Off of that, I just don't think Fox is going to help us win a championship anymore. I really don't. I think his best days are behind him. He's not moving the way he was when he was with the Kings. That's due to injuries. That's due to him getting older. But he's not that old. But I just don't think that he's what the Spurs need right now. I thought it was when we first signed him, when we first traded for him. But I don't think so anymore. I think Harper's made an incredible leap. Castle will make an incredible leap as well for his third year. And I think we need to get a game veteran backup point guard, a game manager backup point guard to come in and manage the game when Harper and Castle are off the bench. Other than that, I think the Spurs need to sign a 4, trade for a big, draft a big, right? But I think you need to still sign one or trade for one. And I think that's what the Spurs need to make their leap. Keldon Johnson, you need to develop a mid-range game, my man. You can't, he just chucks up the threes or drives in and just throws the ball up. You need to develop a mid-range game, maybe spin move floater, something like that, right? I mean, but other than that, I mean, I'm super happy with the season that we had. It sucks that we lost in the finals, right? And moving on to the Knicks, I mean, they're probably going to keep almost everybody. Maybe lose Deuce McBride, maybe lose Landry Shamet. But I feel like everybody wants to play for a contender, right? Everybody wants to play for the champ. So I feel like they're going to have whatever they do lose, they'll make up for it next year. And I think if the Spurs aren't the finals favorites, I think it's going to be them or the Thunder. So congrats to the Knicks. They won the NBA Finals, swept the Spurs 4-1. That's going to do it for us here in Real Sports Live. Talking sports with just Josh today. It's usually Josh and Neil, but just Josh today. And next week it'll be Talking Sports with Josh and Neil. So that's going to be it for here from us. Next week we're going to be talking about 31-6A, finishing it up with Westlake, La Jolla, and Edinburgh High. Maybe talk a little bit about MLB, right? And that's what we got in tap for next week. So stay tuned, stay with us. Look for updates on that on our Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, right? But that's going to do it here from us. So y'all have a great rest of your day. Like, follow, subscribe to Real Sports Live on YouTube, right? Follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, Facebook. But other than that, I'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one, guys.
Elevation, AT4, AT4X, Denali. Case closed. For your GMC, we're professional grade.
No importa en cuál etapa de tu vida te encuentres, Texas Almost College está aquí para ayudarte a progresar. Ya sea que estés empezando desde cero, cambiando de carrera o adquiriendo nuevas habilidades. TSC tiene programas accesibles diseñados para adaptarse a tus metas. Es hora de dar el siguiente paso. Piensa en grande, piensa claramente, piensa en TSC.